F. Scott Frizgerald was born September 24th, 1896, and died December 21st, 1940. He was known for the most brilliant writers for his time. He mostly wrote in the time era of 1920 about the flappers and in the Roaring Twenties. His wife was named Zelda Frizgerald. She was very smart and brilliant, and he and her, when they got married, she actually denied him a few times, and whenever they got married, they did get divorced one time, but then they got married, they were back together again. Also, whenever he was, and they had a daughter named Frances Scott Fitzgerald, but they call her Scotty. He loved her very much and wrote many letters to her. That's how they know Scott was a very good father. He loved her a lot and tried to give her a lot of advice. He also wrote letters to his publisher, like he was so excited whenever he got his first published book called This Side of Paradise. He actually wrote 4 books, and the 5th was unfinished. I'll go through them in a minute. His wife, whenever they got divorced for the last time, she ended up going to a mental hospital, and she ended up dying pretty badly. Whenever they were young and stuff, and he first was noticed as an author, they partied a lot. They was known as a couple, fresh and new, and very fun, but they partied a lot. And when he was young, he wasn't rich. He was pretty poor. He joined the army and was the 2nd lieutenant in 1917. He fell in love with Zelda during an assignment when he went to Montgomery. And also, a quote that Zelda has said is, "I don't want to live, I want to love first and live incidentally." So I feel like she really loved him a lot, but it was a very weird time, really, when America was the rich people were kind of careless. The books that he wrote were, this was the second one he wrote, The Beautiful and the Damned. And Tender is the Night is the 4th book he wrote. Very interesting. This Side of Paradise is the very first book he wrote. He had to go through a lot to get it published, and he felt like whenever he got this published, he would be recognized, like he'll become rich and famous and win Zelda, and it worked. He ended up winning her. That was good. And then he also wrote The Great Gatsby, which is the most popular one out of all of them, and it's just really known for the I want to say lyric, but the writing when he wrote that Daisy says, I'm glad she's a girl. I hope she's a beautiful fool, because it's all you could ever be in this world is a beautiful little fool. So, yes. And that's what Zelda said whenever Frances or Scotty, their daughter, was born. So it's just very interesting. A lot of people say that he was very rude and mean to his wife and stole a lot of her writing and didn't give her credit for how much she was a part of writing his books with him, like they did it together. He took all the credit and all that, and how Great Gatsby felt about Daisy, how he felt out of love with her, because they were separated for 5 years and he wasn't sure if he still loved her. Also says how Scott felt that way about Zelda for a time, and he was hoping that writing this book it can mend their relationship, because Zelda ended up liking this other guy, so he was hoping this would help their relationship go back to the way it was. He also said the quote, "The world only exists in your eyes. You can make it as big or as small as you want." Scott Frizgerald. And I fell in love with her courage, her sincerity, her flaming self-respect. We're talking about Zelda, which is pretty cute. Anyways, he was a great writer and journalist for his time, and wrote a really good philosophy of flappers, and just really great example of his time. Overall, he was a good author, a good writer, and I think he tried to live his best, but he needed to set some better morals. But he wrote a great Gatsby book, so it mostly came really popular after he died, when they made movies, and he was really known for it after, because of the time era, and they realized, wow, this is really good. So, and poor Zelda. And that was their little family. The end.